Hey, this is NFT Eve, and I'm here with Big Ben. He's all about the metaverse, and he's been in crypto for a while, and he really knows the space. So I'm so excited to have him on today. Hi, Ben.
Hey Eve, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here as well.
Where are you located?
I'm in Florida, Sunshine State.
Oh, really? I'm trying to move there.
Yeah, I just moved here this year, actually. Yeah, back in the spring, I was living in West Virginia for the past like 10 years. But I actually grew up here in Florida. So I lived here until 2010 and then moved away when I was 16 at the time, and in 2010 finished high school, went to college, started my career all up in the north, and then was like, I can't take this cold anymore, and so moved back down to Florida.
Wow. How did your career start? Like, what was your first thing that you got into?
So I went to school for marketing and minored in advertising. And then I started working for Comcast Cable on their like advertising. Well, they have a whole other company for their advertising like division. So I started working for their advertising arm of their company, selling like commercial airtime on ESPN, Fox News, CNN, pretty much any major cable channel you can think of. I was selling the airtime to local businesses to be able to put their commercials on those spots. So, like a big Saturday game day football game, used to put local businesses like on the air inside of those games. But currently I'm self-employed. I just lost my job because like I mentioned, I moved down here in April. I started working for another company that did something similar, but it was all digitally based. So SEO, SEM, YouTube, and things like that. And it just wasn't a good match for me or the company. And I think that industry as a whole is kind of shifting / dying, especially with the pandemic and COVID. Part of the issue is those items are not necessarily cheap. And I was selling to small and mid-sized local businesses who can barely keep employees, much less spend thousands of dollars a month on advertising. So
yeah, now everybody just can go on TikTok and do their own commercial.
Right. Yeah. And that's what I've found is that the world, or the business owners and businesses and people who run these businesses are becoming more and more savvy, and so they're able to do a lot of those things on their own now. Even when I was working for Comcast, they were setting up a self-serve system, essentially, to where you as a business owner, say you're a CEO, could just go online. You could tell the system who you're trying to target, who your potential customer is, and then it would, kind of create an advertising schedule for you, which is literally what I did for them when I was working for them. So, it's kind of already showing it's a self-sustainable side where it's going to kind of move towards a self-serve type of platform and industry, to where these business owners are able to just do it themselves, and companies like Comcast won't have to pay sales executives like I was, 40K a year plus commission for every salesperson. So it's an interesting paradigm shift in the world right now as a whole for many industries, I think.
Yeah, it's great. It's great for those of us who can like jump on it and take advantage of it. Like,
Yeah.
I've been in crypto for like 4 years, and I talk to people who are like, even like 25 years old, and they're like, still, some of them still not like grasping like, oh my gosh, this is where the world is now. But for
Right.
the rest of us who are curious and like to see what's happening, like, it's the most exciting time. And one of the most exciting things happening right now is, of course, the metaverse. So how did you get into that? If you want, you can show and tell at the same time.
Yeah. So I'll hop in and kind of speak about it at the same time. So I got into the metaverse. I've only been in crypto and NFTs and stuff like that actually for about a year. But there was a point in between leaving my last job and moving down to Florida to where I was like not working. Like I was still employed by Comcast, but I wasn't really doing my job for them because I knew I was going to be leaving. So literally from like the time I woke up until the time I went to bed, I was learning about NFTs and crypto and the metaverse, and I did that for like 3 months to where I was like just fully inundated in it, like all the time, all day, just constantly learning about different things that were going on and how to get involved in it. And Decentraland, which is the main metaverse that I play in, there's several different metaverses out there right now, but I think Decentraland's kind of the main and most popular one currently.
Yeah. Oh, I have a question because I see the moon is behind you. Who are your gurus, like your YouTube or your crypto gurus that you learn a lot?
Yeah, so
you were studying in that time, like.
So I was big into stocks
Uh-huh.
beforehand, and I was like talking to this like stock guy who runs the stock YouTube, and he was like, yeah, man, we're thinking about like also building like a casino in Decentraland. And
Wow.
I was like, Decentraland, what is that? And kind of looked it up and then got into it. And I found someone by the name of Kevin on Earth. Let me pull his Twitter up. And he kind of mentored me into Decentraland and the metaverse. He was already streaming events in Decentraland at the time. This is him, Kevin on Earth 999.
Wow.
But he was, and you can see the banner here, the Decentraland report, official reporter. So he was already streaming things about the metaverse and about Decentraland. And I kind of just got involved with him and started hanging out with him and talking to him. And now I'm actually an official Decentraland reporter myself, which is kind of like a project he put together where, he employed, I think there's 5 or 6 of us right now. And I say employed, we're doing it for free, obviously, but he kind of set this up and organized the Decentraland report for us. And now I do a stream every week on Friday about what's happening in Decentraland and kind of.
What's your channel? So that's on YouTube?
I do mine on Twitch currently, but I'm trying to figure out how to multi-stream. So eventually it'll be Twitch and YouTube, but my Twitch is twitch.tv/The Big Benjamin.
The Big Ben. That's so cool. The Big Benjamin. Yeah, like everybody smash the likes, hit subscribe and put a comment because that will help the algorithm and it will help this video reach more people. Okay, so that's really cool. Yeah, I do multiple streams. I actually have like a whole nother life where I'm on I do painting and I also do dance on like TikTok, Clapper, and I just have all these different cameras set up. I mean, you're more sophisticated and like you probably do like a more professional job, but I just kind of set up a bunch of cameras and
no way.
Let it go.
I looked at your website. You do great work.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, I love my work. But actually, I recently wrote a book called Half-Assed.
And nice.
I just wrote it on my phone when I was walking, like for like a couple of weeks. And that's like my theory is like just like put a bunch of cameras, do whatever, and then like get it to work afterwards. But
yeah, and I think that's a good point. It's just for anyone really that's trying to get into creating or something like that. It's just you just got to do it and kind of play with it, and like you said, like figure it out as you go. Like, oh, I'm gonna set it up, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna go for it, and like if I run into problems, we'll handle those along the way. And I think that's a great way to go about it because for a long time I envisioned myself doing streams and creating NFTs and all that stuff, and I was like, I dreamed it. And I thought about it, but I never really did it because I'm like, oh, I need to do this and I need to get this probably, and I need to like learn these programs. And then finally one day I just woke up and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to start streaming and I'm going to start creating and and I've found, a good response from that. So
Yeah. Yeah, it works great. That's my whole philosophy is like, just take the pressure off, and who cares? Like, just if you have in your mind you're going to do a half-ass job, then it's fun. And then, when things, get good, you're like, oh my God, look how good that is. Because most people don't act because they get too much thinking or too perfectionistic or
right.
whatever. And I think it's
Yep.
the same is true in crypto. Like, I tell my friends, sometimes I send a video and I say, like, don't worry, you're going to have no idea what they're talking about, like, just put it on, and eventually, the words will start to make sense.
Yeah.
So I know nothing about Decentraland except for that I've owned it since I first heard about it, because, the metaverse and having, I don't game, but I know how big it is and how people are really living in uh, this world,
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny you bring up gaming, because I mean that's a big part of my background. I was a big gamer.
Uh,
I played a lot of these, I call them centralized games. I played a lot of these
cool.
centralized games, from Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo. And I put a lot of my time and money into those kind of things. And it gave me it made me feel good when I was doing it, and it was entertaining. But now, knowing about NFTs and metaverses, it kind of has made me realize that it was almost a big waste of my time and money, because now I can play decentralized games or DeFi games or play to earn games where I'm actually, if I buy a character or a skin or something, I actually own that as an asset, and I can resell it, or the things that I earn while I'm playing, I can sell or trade. And so it has kind of,
I gotta have you back and ask you all those questions. I was gonna try to
yeah,
how to play Axie, because I'm like, well, I never played a game before, but actually getting paid for it is motivational for me.
right. Yeah, I
Like,
haven't
I
gotten into
might
Axie
really
yet.
love it. I might really love it, and then,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah. And I
Axie
think
might
that
be
it's gonna, to that same note, bring a lot of people who like aren't necessarily gamers into that realm for the
oh,
same
yeah.
reasons. It's like, if they, I mean, because there's people who are making, over $200 a day playing Axie. And there's people in other countries like Indonesia and the Philippines where they're playing Axie and making, 10 times the amount of money that they would if they were working a traditional job in their country. And
Yeah.
so
They're
it's
buying
really
their
amazing.
grandparents a house and their parents a house, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And I've heard stories like, that those houses might be the first actual house that's ever been in their entire family history, and it's so crazy to live in that world and be in a time where we're seeing that shift of power, I would say, or I would call it,
For
from
sure, for sure.
these big centralized you know kind of monopolies on a lot of industries, to where we're now going more towards like an ownership by the people and for the people, and having a very liberating experience from that. So yeah, it's all very exciting.
So let me ask you this. If I wanted to go get on the metaverse, like, I know about the metaverse hype, but I don't even know how to go there. Is it like metaverse.com, or like how would I get to the metaverse? Like, where you are now, or you're in Decentraland.
Correct. Yeah.
How would I get there? Oh, that
So
is,
you would go to decentraland.org,
uh-huh.
and you have to have a MetaMask account.
Okay.
So that's, I'm sure you might be familiar with MetaMask. Most people,
Yeah, I've been in crypto for a while, so I made a lot of my money on getting these little altcoins. Ivan on Tech is my guru, my main
yeah,
one guru. I love Ivan, who also started off as a gamer. When he was like 9 years old, he started
right.
programming. I love Ivan. He taught me so much. So, yeah, I've been on MetaMask for years, and that, but he used to live stream every day and give all these amazing tips. So
Yeah,
I bought all the stuff he ever talked about because he was always right. Ivan is the bomb.
I'll have to look into him. You'll have to send me his info.
Oh, Ivan on tech.
Ivan on
Totally.
tech.
He's
Write
he
it
used to
down.
live stream every day. He doesn't really anymore because he created a platform called Morales, which is a interoperability easy way to build dApps. So if you have any programmer friends,
Okay.
send them over there. I might put a link below because I think I'm an affiliate. But yeah, he used to live stream every day. It was so much fun, especially like in the worst part of lockdown, and in like
Right.
so dreary. There's like Ivan because he's in Europe, so when you wake up in the morning, there it is.
Yeah. I would love to be able to stream every day. Like I said, I just lost my job, so my only ways of supporting myself currently are doing DoorDash, if you're familiar with that.
Oh my God, I did DoorDash when crypto crashed a couple months ago.
Yeah, so right now, and the problem is I've set
Oh my God,
myself
I would
up.
totally hire you for more than you get for DoorDash.
Do it. I'm open for work.
Seriously, because DoorDash, I did it and I was like, whoa, this is not a good job. At least in
Yeah, it's not
Washington,
great.
D.C., it's not good because of potholes and
Yeah.
just
Down
the
here in Florida, the roads are a little better for sure, but I also drive an Audi A5 coupe. And so I don't like driving it as much as I am. But the
Exactly.
problem is, as you can tell from the car I just named, I like to live luxurious. So
Yeah, man.
I now have, without a job, and spending all of my money, my savings, I just spent all of my savings to move to Florida. So it's not even like I have a cushion to fall back on. So now I have to DoorDash almost, 8 hours a day just to be able to support myself. So I haven't been able to do,
Wow.
yeah. So I haven't been able to create as much.
So you didn't really invest in crypto too much, or did you already spend that on that car?
Yeah, I spent a lot of it on my car and moving to Florida. And getting set up down here. But I've slowly now started to reinvest back into crypto. But like I said, I'm at a point in my life right now where I'm struggling a little bit. So I haven't got to create as much as I'd like to or stream as much as I'd like to. But I eventually definitely plan on getting back to that and hopefully doing.
All right. Well, let's just say you're like a freelance marketer or something.
Yeah, that's exactly what
and
I
people
do,
can
actually.
contact you because I totally would, because to at least get as much money as the DoorDash, because the DoorDash you might get tickets, wear and tear on the car.
Yeah.
Your insurance is gonna go up. I was like, my insurance is gonna go up. I'm liking
Oh, I don't report it to my insurance, but yeah, if I
but
did,
I don't
it
know
would
if they
definitely
can
go
tell
up.
how many miles you drive.
No, and it doesn't matter because like I own my car, so I can technically drive it as much as I want. But yeah, but anyways, not to get too far off on a tangent, it's like but the cool thing is I just reached affiliate status on Twitch. So I can actually start monetizing from my streams, and that literally happened yesterday. So I qualified for that. So hopefully, I am doing things to set myself up so that in the future I can hopefully do streams, every day and do crypto and creating full time, because that's really what I'm passionate about.
You totally should, because I mean, just your knowledge that you have, like 1 year is actually like a lifetime in Metaverse.
Yeah.
And clearly you have all of this other knowledge that you already had before, I would totally watch your channel because I'm so interested in Metaverse. And now we're like, okay, now we have to all figure out how to become Metaverse artists and make wearables and characters. And
yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, because that's currently what I'm trying to do, is learn a program called Blender, which is a 3D modeling program. And what I'm trying to do is learn that program so that I can create wearables for characters. So to kind of back up a little bit, and then I'll kind of transition into the wearables segment of what I was talking about.
Let's go back to the beginning.
Yeah, so to get into Decentraland, you would go to decentraland.org, and then you would just click Start Exploring. You actually don't have to have MetaMask, I don't think, because you can play as a guest here. but it's going to go ahead and log me in because I'm
Let
already.
me just tell everybody the most important thing is write down your seed phrase and don't lose.
Yes.
'Cause, you know, when I started my
Yeah.
MetaMask, the person who told me said, I already have a seed phrase, so I don't need to write it down. So I didn't really know. And like, you know, eventually one day you'll have thousands of dollars on there and you're like, where's my seed phrase?
Right.
People don't know that and they don't realize like how fast.
Yeah, your seed phrase, definitely something that you should be writing down on paper. Never save it on your computer or like your phone or something like that, because those things can be hacked. But yeah, always write your seed phrase down. I recommend people write it down in like 2 or 3 places and kind of keep them in different places, because I've actually lost my seed phrase for a wallet before.
Isn't
Luckily,
that like
there
the
wasn't a
worst
lot in
thing
it,
that
but
can
it just
happen?
made me realize,
Yeah, no, I've
you
had
know,
it. That happened too.
yeah,
That's
it
like
just made me
sending, like,
realize, I'm like, man,
fireproof, waterproof, say, some buried out in the woods, you know, like
right.
you're
Yeah, and
supposed to put,
that
and every
brings me
time you make a
to,
new account, you just think, well, I'm putting $5 in here, you know, whatever. But and you know, you can't get your money back or your stuff if you
right.
lose your seed phrase, everybody. Okay.
Yeah.
I just have to always throw that out because I'm continually like remembering, oh, I made an account here and there when you're first starting.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I recommend people get, so my next purchase is going to be a cold wallet or a hardware wallet, like a Ledger. That's what my next move is.
I might have a Ledger.
Yeah. But yeah, so you'll log into Decentraland. It'll bring you into this like kind of hub at first, where you can kind of look at different scenes that are trending.
I love those trees. It is so cool.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, there's some amazing visuals. You know, the trees you see here are actually pretty low res compared to a lot of things that are in this metaverse. But you know, you can kind of just look at like the most popular scenes here. What's a good one to pop into that'll have some cool stuff for us to look at?
So you like click around and that makes you move. Is it like Google Maps or something?
So you can actually just move using your WASD or your directional keys on your keyboard. So for anyone who's ever played like traditional computer gaming, the movement components are extremely similar.
Okay, so you have to learn that. That's cool.
Yeah, so you'll just kind of like move around, and then you use your mouse to rotate your camera, and then it'll kind of just move with you. You know, you press forward and you look to the right, it's going to move to the right. So but if you don't see anything there that you like on the events, you can just hop into this water thing right here.
And that's cool.
Yeah.
That's the portal. Wow.
Yeah, and it'll drop you down in here to the Genesis social space. So you can see we got CryptoPunks hanging up on the wall, some and NFT.
Whose punks are those? Are those real punks or are those like
you know, I don't know. I think that might just, I don't know if like the one of the devs of Decentraland might own that or not. It's a good question. But you can see like the Dogecoin dude walking around here.
Oh my God, it's our crypto world. So fun.
Yeah. So you can see the Elon meme and the Pop-Tart cat.
Awesome. So does Kraken give you any money for walking around in that purple Kraken jacket?
No, but so there was just something called the Metaverse Festival that happened this weekend in Decentraland. And what that was, and I should be able to still go to the venue. They had a literal like music festival in Decentraland where artists such as Alice in Wonderland, Deadmau5, and then on the last day, even Paris Hilton had appearances in Decentraland and played and had live music sets playing here in Decentraland. And Kraken is a big component of Decentraland. So I just hopped into where the festival grounds are. Yeah. So Kraken, I believe, helped build everything that you see here. You can see their name hanging up there, Kraken. And during the festival, which was like playing on these white screens that you can see, there was they had videos of the artists playing and then music pumping through here, and like these lights up here were all going crazy. And let me see if I have a picture of it. And what happened is, I'm sure you're familiar with the concept of airdrops, right? So it was really cool. What they did is Kraken was literally airdropping these wearables to people via crates that were falling out of the sky.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Via parachute, and then a crate, you would see a crate like land next to you on the dance floor here. You'd walk up to it and click it, and it would say, hey, you've just been awarded this wearable, and then it sends it directly to your wallet. And then you can kind of come in here into your backpack, and you can see all the different like wearables. So they were airdropping,
And these are in your MetaMask, all of these?
Correct. So you can even see them on OpenSea as well. But you can see here, like they were airdropping shirts. So here's like the day 4 shirt. They airdropped this really cool like diver's helmet that you can see here with their logo on it.
Cool.
Yeah. So they were airdropping a lot of really cool stuff to people during the festival. And like I said, you can actually go to OpenSea and see all of those assets listed. And then the cool thing is, you can actually, sell these things. So
yes, amazing.
Yeah. So you can see, like, I have a Metaverse hat. You can see the Kraken diver's helmet there. I got several of these dead Mao ears, some Kraken moon boots, and then here's that Kraken cape and torch. But like I said, I could sell it if I wanted to. And
on OpenSea or any
so you can sell it on
platform, or how does that work?
You can sell it on OpenSea. I'm sure you could sell it on another Ethereum platform, or you can also sell it directly on Decentraland's collectible marketplace. So you can just go to their marketplace.
Oh, this is so amazing. Wow.
Yeah, it's really it's a really robust platform. So then you can click my assets here, and then for example, like if I want to list one of these hats, I just click sell. I say how much mana I want to sell it for. Let's just say 10. I got like
cool
several of these hats. So then you hit proceed, and then you just gotta kind of sign a transaction authorizing the sell of that asset.
Just for everybody, mana is the token for Decentraland.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you hit proceed. You'll sign one more time, and then it'll kind of just give you confirmation here. You can see that it's queued, and then boom, confirmed. So now it's listed for sale on their marketplace. So super easy, super user friendly. So, and then you can kind of see here all the different items people have listed. And the cool thing is, so I had to now transition back into our other topic, is that a lot of these wearables are user generated. Here's a screenshot from when the Metaverse Festival was in full swing.
Wow.
So yeah, there was some really.
And all of these other people are other humans that have a metaverse person.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so here's me and my other BitBear friends hanging out at the Paris Hilton set. There's her. She had a 3D avatar DJing.
Oh my God, I love Paris Hilton.
Yeah. So it was a really, really cool experience. Here's another shot that you can see all the lights going on the stage, and you can see the artist Harrison First there in the background on the big screen. And then, like I said, it almost felt like you were at an actual music festival, because you see all the other people around, you can chat with everyone. Me and my other friend who's an artist, we were chatting on the side on Discord, but in the same like world, so we could see each other interact. You know, we're hearing the same music at the same time, and so it was kind of like experiencing you know, going out to a music set, but from the comfort of your own home, so to say. So it's really, really cool what's, you know, some of the new things that are coming into the metaverse. But yeah, all of the, not all of them, but a lot of the wearables that you see like on this marketplace are all user generated. So that's why, how you mentioned, you know, we all got to figure out how to become metaversal, right? We got to figure out how to create these characters and wearables, and that's what I'm actually working on my free time now, is learning the program Blender.
How hard is it? I mean, really?
It's very difficult. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an extremely robust program, and you got to know, first you got to know how to just maneuver within the program and how to work that, and then you got to kind of know about how to scale things on a 3D level and how to match them up to like an avatar, so that, you know, it all flows correctly. And then you have to test every wearable that you do so that you can make sure the motion rigging is correct and things like that. So it's a very intricate thing to learn how to do. But if you can learn how to do it, can be very lucrative for
Yeah,
you.
yeah, it's going to be insanely lucrative, because especially now, like you'll be one of the, I mean, I wonder how many people are making wearables. Probably not a huge amount of people.
Probably, I'd say under 100, to be honest. If
Whoa.
I, you know, like at this point in time, it's got to be under 100 people, or close to probably only about 100 people that have made wearables for Decentraland, you know. And you'll see a lot of collections that come out with wearables, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they made them themselves either. You know, it's a lot of people pay developers to make these wearables for them, and then they just give the creator a cut of the profit or whatever. So if you can learn how to create these kind of things, it is definitely you know, a valuable skill to learn, especially if you have your own, like I have my own NFT collection and community that I've built. And essentially what I'm trying to do is learn how to create those wearables so that I can continue to provide you know, new things to my community and reward them for supporting me with, you know, cool wearables. And plus it's just free marketing, right? You know, if you have someone
Yeah.
walking around in Decentraland with a hoodie and it might have, you know, my Big Ben logo on it or something, like that's just free marketing for me, right? So that's kind of what I'm moving towards now, and where I see the space and kind of our world moving as a whole. You know, there's a lot of players coming into the metaverse, people like Atari, Walmart, and those kind of people are buying land in the metaverse on a large scale, and having people make wearables and things like that, because I think
Yeah,
what,
Sotheby's, you know, the biggest art auction house, you know, who
correct, yeah,
auctions Rembrandts and stuff. They bought in early, like a year ago.
yeah, they actually have a build here. Let's see
Oh,
if I
can we
can
go to
find it.
their,
Yeah,
their environment?
surprised it's not on the most
Also, I
popular
wanted to
here.
see what do you have to do to change your shoes.
Oh, to change your shoes? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you just click.
you'll click your little icon up here and you'll just click into your backpack,
Uh-huh.
and then you can go to shoes.
Uh-huh. Those are really
And
cool. Purple and white.
yeah, the moon boots from
Yeah.
Kraken, they're pretty cool. And then
Yeah.
you can just kind of select
Oh
which
my
shoes you
God.
want.
Uh-huh.
It's usually a little quicker than this. There we go. And then you'll hit done. And then you'll see them just change on my character here it'll give you a cool little animation, and then boom,
Wow.
you got a new pair of shoes on. So, you know, shoe, especially for shoes, you know, I think as we continue to move forward, we're going to see more and more brands do these kind of digital
Oh, yeah.
assets, you know, and I think as we even further look into the future, instead of, you know, buying a pair of shoes online, you might buy the NFT of those shoes, and then you get sent the physical shoes or something like that. You know, I think that's,
Exactly. Of course. Yeah.
yeah.
I
So I
actually
think,
have a program. I have like an abs. I have like an online workout program, and they make
yeah,
NFT. And I was like, when you buy this NFT, you're buying into my program. I
that's
didn't. I
awesome.
didn't. I didn't market it at all. But I did. I did have that idea. Like it's so much easier than, you know, PayPal clicking and all that other stuff you have to do.
Right.
Plus you get to keep the NFT, which is only going to get more valuable over time, most likely, and it could be
Yeah.
very valuable. So you got your Jordan shoes, you know, NFT, and then you have the shoes, and then 10 years from now, maybe the NFT is worth, you know, who knows how much, you know,
Right.
$50,000 or something.
Yeah. And especially if it's like a, I don't know, like a one of one pair of shoes, like a custom pair of shoes or something like that. Who knows? You know, it was funny that you mentioned that, because I was on a Twitter space the other day and we were talking about handbags, because I think Louis Vuitton or something like that sold a digital piece of clothing as an NFT for like, I don't know, it was like $1 million or something like that. And we were talking about how it'll be nice for us guys when we go out and buy a handbag for the girl we're seeing or whatever, our wife, and then we get to keep the NFT. And then I made the joke, and I was
Yeah,
like, yeah, until she finds out the NFT is
I
worth
know.
4 times the amount of the
Ladies need to
purse.
be savvy to be like, okay, thank you for the NFT.
Yeah. So I think that, you know, we'll continue to see more clothing brands in fashion and things like that come into the metaverse. And as you can see here, this is an Atari Casino that
Mhm.
Atari built in the metaverse. You can bet with real crypto at this casino.
Oh my gosh, that is dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very good in the casino. I only like loses a very small amount, but this is so much cooler.
Yeah, so you can see down here, I have the free play currency, or I can play with ETH, I can play with Mana, I can play with USDT, DAI, or Atari token. So it's really interesting. And this is all ran through Decentraland Games, which is that's this logo here, which has become a very popular brand within the metaverse.
So let me ask you this: where are the other people? Is nobody in the casino right now, or
not this one? This one's not very popular. Let's go to
like if you went on Friday night, would there be a lot more people around?
So, well, this casino, yeah, there's always more people on the weekends, but you can see the Tamanoya Casino has 58 people in it. So if we just jump into that one, we'll see a lot more
I'm gonna
people.
make wigs for Metaverse, you know?
Do it, yeah.
Like some kind of, you know, lady fashion, because you gotta have some like ladies, you know, in the casino looking glam. Oh,
yeah.
I love all these Japanese cherry trees everywhere. Cherry blossoms. So
yeah, so this one's kind of set up entirely around Japanese culture.
oh, look at that found. That's so beautiful. I love Japanese culture and art. I'm very influenced by it, my own art.
Yeah, me too. I'm big into like all Asian cultures and art, and I have some Asian stuff tattooed on me actually. So
Let's see it. No, just kidding.
but so you can see up here now, there's a lot more people.
Wow.
And the Decentraland Games is actually, so you see here the play to earn. They're about to be launching their own play to earn platform where you'll have to buy a wearable to access it, but you'll actually earn a cryptocurrency called ICE that you can see there. That then you'll be able to, you can swap it on Uniswap or whatever you want to do with it. So
Decentraland has its, I only know Axie. So Decentraland has play to earn games, and that's the games that you're playing on Decentraland?
no, the Decentraland itself is just a metaverse. So
anyone can, do you have, it's a particular, so this is like the Decentraland metaverse, but anyone can buy. Okay, so any like Axie can, they probably have some game or something on there, like all the different games.
I don't know about Axie. I wouldn't be surprised if Axie has bought land in Decentraland. They don't yet have a build deployed in Decentraland that I know of, but yeah, they could totally do something like that. I mean, Bored Ape Yacht Club actually has a like a yacht, a boat that they built in Decentraland that has some betting tables through it, and then you can see here Zed Run, which is another NFT DeFi game. They have their HQ set up here. It'll just take a minute to load, but you can see the Zed Run HQ here. So what a lot of these DeFi games and stuff will do is they'll buy land in the metaverse like this, and then set up a really big like build, such as this one, as kind of like a central hub or meetup spot or display center for their NFTs, because you can see here, like they're able to display different horses. You can see the stats on this horse, and it's almost like you're walking through a real life gallery or
gorgeous.
shopping for these things. So that's kind of the goal here. You can see, click for more info. If this was an NFT that you could purchase, you could also place like a link there to the purchase page.
The horse?
Yeah.
And then
so you could actually
ride the horse or like come in on the horse, or does the horse?
So this is for the horse is for Zed Run, which is another DeFi game. And what you'll do is you can race these horses on Zed Run. I'm human, I promise.
I like your logo.
Thank you. Yeah, I need to I looked into trademarking and copywriting it, and I learned that that's very expensive to do. But so you can see here on this video, these horses are racing here. And so if you buy a horse as an NFT, you're able to enter these different races. They have these different tournaments that are going on, where you can win money in them. So, and then you can sell your horse, you can breed the horses. So there's a lot that you can do with Zed Run as well. But but their game is ran through their own client that you would download, on your computer. So really what Decentraland does is serve as kind of a, again, just kind of like a central hub or like display center for Zed Run and some of their NFTs and horses. So a lot of the things in the metaverse kind of are set up to do that. And let me see if I can go to like a gallery, for example. Trying to find a good gallery. I think, see, this gallery is pretty good. So for example, if you have your NFTs that you do, for example, you could create a gallery within Decentraland like this one, and hang all of your NFTs, and we can walk through here as if we're at a museum. You know what I mean? And view all of these works of art as if we're actually walking through an actual space, you know, like a museum would be, like an actual physical in world gallery would be.
So you can click on them, you can see the title, how much they cost, stuff like that.
Yep. So let me get up to the top of these stairs here. He's got all these different, so these are all portals that can take us to different places. But yeah, let me jump back down here to the bottom. You can walk up to this. So this one, for example, I can click Open UI.
Mhm.
It will show me what the last price it sold for was. It'll tell me it's not currently for sale. And then I can click View on OpenSea, and it will take me to the actual NFT on OpenSea to where I could make an offer or purchase that if it was for sale. And you can do that with all of these. So, you know, you can kind of see what it is, View on OpenSea.
So right now, like real estate on Decentraland Metaverse is like too expensive right now for any kind of average person, right? Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Of explore different artists' work and see it as if it was really, you know, hanging up somewhere.
Yeah, I love these galleries because it, you know, people don't realize that. Like I have my work here. Oh wait, I have to like put my face back on there. I have my work here, and you know, I could show it, you know, oh yeah, it looks great. But when you put your art in a gallery like that, it just looks so good, you know. And
Yeah, totally. And
I love
it,
the art galleries in the metaverse.
me too. And it's so much different, like you said, to be able to go look at an NFT hanging up in a space like a Decentraland gallery than just seeing it on OpenSea, because, you know, what people I think haven't, and I know some people actually haven't really realized about NFTs is that that's kind of like the new wave of NFTs are like the new wave of art culture, and where artists are going to really start to move for many reasons. One of the main ones being they can earn royalties on every sale for the life of that NFT, right? So that's huge, something you cannot do when you're, if you're an artist and you have a painting that you spend hours and hours and hours on, after that first sale, that's it, right? You make that money and that's all you're going to get.
Yeah, and you sell your
Whereas,
painting for a low price because you need the money at the time, and then it gets
right.
resold like for 20 times more.
Yeah. And you
Put it
get
in a
nothing.
museum, and you're like, hmm.
Yeah. Whereas NFTs, you know, it flips that concept on the head and allows artists to continue to make money off of their creations. So, you know, I think it's huge in that aspect. But what people don't realize too that's going on with NFTs is like, for example, you know, you say you bought this, you could then have that printed out and hang that on your wall, because once you buy an NFT, you technically own the intellectual property rights for that image. So to be able to see what it might look like hanging up before you even buy it is also a huge, you know, caveat to
Exactly.
these
Yeah,
things.
I had not thought of that.
So yeah, I love the galleries in the metaverse. You know, that's kind of what was the main thing in Decentraland back when I first got into it, because
Oh,
the capabilities were a little less robust than they are now. Back then, you know, like for example, that stage that I showed you. So this gallery right here, this can all be built within the Decentraland scene builder. That you see, you can just go to builder. Like for example, I've built a couple of scenes, and you can create those. You can say what size plot you're doing it on, and that is what that build that I just showed you was built in. However, there's other builds such as the Atari Casino
Wait,
or
but you can build your own thing there without owning the real estate?
yeah, so you can build you can build something without owning the land. Because what happens a lot of times is you can get building rights to a piece of land. You may not own it, but the owner can give you rights to build on that land, which is
Smart.
something that I've been like, I have building rights to a piece of land, but I don't own it because these lands are thousands of dollars if you want to. I think the cheapest one's like $2,000 or something like that
Oh, really?
for a 1x1.
Oh, you can still get that? I'm even surprised. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, so but that's just a 1x1. That's literally a 1x1 block is probably around $2,000.
1 foot by 1 foot?
Well, it's one. I don't even know what like one square within Decentraland.
You could put like 2 little paintings, like say that gallery, that space we just looked at. Would you be able to put like one of those paintings in there? Or they would
a 1x1 would be like this square that you can see right here.
Yeah.
The outline of the square is one. Okay. So you can do a significant amount with a 1x1. Let me see if I can pull up.
You can have like these old art stores like they have in France where there's just like a million paintings hanging everywhere.
Yeah.
Cats laying around.
Yep. And so like here's a build that I did.
Wow.
And you can see all the components that popped up there when I opened it, and everything is, an individual component. You have to go in here and size everything, kind of scale it to how you would want it. So you can scale it, move things around like this. You can kind of just move stuff, scale it around, and then you can actually preview what it would look like. So if I hit this.
Beautiful. I love the wall, like the black and the blue. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, thank you. But then we could actually go in world and see what that would look like here. For some reason, it won't open my door, but let me see here. Anyways, that's a 1x1 though that I just showed you. So that's
amazing.
Yeah, so you can do a lot with just a 1x1 plot.
So it's like you're helping advertise an empty space that somebody bought and they're not using at that moment. So
correct, yeah.
So they want to use it for something else, then you can keep using that.
Yeah, and because there, like you said, there's people who have bought land in Decentraland from an investment standpoint, but they may not be creators. They just bought it purely from an investment viewpoint, and they, I think, I'm not 100% right on this, but I think you can get paid if your land has like high usage on it. Like I think Decentraland might pay you or something like that. But so they want people to be on their land and to be active on that because they'll get paid for that. So they'll find people like myself or other creators and ask them, hey, do you want to build on this plot of land? Or me as a creator, you just reach out to people or like a empty piece of land, if you can find out who owns it, and ask for those kind of ask for building rights on that. So
here's my question. Say somebody like myself who does not do gaming or anything like that, but it's, I'm halfway decent at technology and things. If I wanted to build a space, how long would it take me to learn how to do that? I mean, I know everybody's different, but just in general, did you have, we're using programming language or you're just clicking stuff?
Yeah, it's just clicking for the Decentraland builder. However, so like this build was all built in the builder. However, when you see stuff like what I was showing you earlier at the Metaverse Festival build, this is all done outside of Decentraland's builder that they have on their website. It's done via something called the SDK, which is in a separate program, or it's all done by code, and then put into Decentraland. So this, for example, this build right here, I almost guarantee you this was coded. This is a coded build, which I don't even know how to begin to understand that, you know, where someone literally just wrote code and this pops out, right? You know, so, but if you're trying to build something just like a simple gallery, then yeah, you would go into the builder. It gives you a lot of the assets already, and then you're just clicking, dragging and dropping and kind of and building that out in that nature. So to create this build, I would say it took me 2 days of working pretty meticulously on it for several hours. But for example, to like get started, you could just come in here. Let me start a new build and I'll show you.
Let me ask another question. So how do people go to your build? Did they accidentally jump in one of those portals and end up there, or how would
No,
somebody
you would have to either advertise your build, you know, on Twitter, or if you're gonna hold like the best way to get exposure for your build and for your land in Decentraland is to hold events, and then you could actually advertise that event on Decentraland's events page. So you could have something like this. For example, Kevin on Earth, the guy who I told you got me into Decentraland, he has an event coming up this evening called NF Tuesdays that he does every Tuesday. So you can see here where his exit out of this one, where his event is, and then you could just click it, click the little coordinates there, and it'll drop you into where his build is. So that's the best way to kind of get people to come to your build, is to have events, but you would have to advertise that build in some way, because it's not going to just like, people aren't just going to randomly end up there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because Decentraland is it's actually a pretty big metaverse. If you tried to run like from one side of it to the other, it would take you a pretty good while to do.
Like days or?
No, you could probably do it in like an hour or two, I would
Oh,
think, like an hour maybe. But yeah, you can see it like from his event that he had listed. I was able to just click right in and it dropped me right into his build here. So
I'm assuming that it's like real life, that most, I mean, is it mostly all anyone can go, but then I don't know, I'm sure they're starting to have like, you know, exclusive rooms where you have to buy something or have a certain wearable or something in order to enter, or is it
yep,
free, you can go anywhere?
both.
Like Paris Hilton concert, I want to know.
The Paris Hilton concert, yeah, that was like anyone could attend. However, there are people that have now set up like VIP spaces. So at the, oh no, I got stuck in stairs. At the Decentraland, or at the Metaverse Festival this past weekend, there's a NFT project called the MetaKey, and they're like really big into utility, and they had a whole like VIP lounge that you literally couldn't enter that building unless you had a MetaKey, and it's able to instantly verify that, whether that's in your wallet or not, because you know you link your wallet to Decentraland to even enter into the metaverse. So there are projects like that that are already starting to do that kind of like, oh, you know, you got to have you know, this NFT or this wearable to be able to access a certain area. And it's as simple as like, either they can't get into the building at all, or you set up a portal on your plot of land where they walk into that portal, and if they have, you know, that wearable, then it'll teleport them into the VIP space. I'm trying to find one of the main people that does that. Easier to look at his event.
So you have your metaverse calendar hooked up to your Google Calendar, or?
So For this one, for Decentraland, this is all just on their events page. However, if you did have an event that you wanted to put on your calendar, you can simply click into the event listing, and then you can come down here and add to calendar, and it'll automatically generate a event that you can then log into your Google Calendar. So I do that a lot, so that it gives me reminders and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting. So like this Wonder Quest, for example, this is, I don't know how familiar you are with music culture, but Alice in Wonderland, who's an electronic artist, she has a build here in Decentraland. She has her own NFT dragon collection that she's released, where you buy an egg and then you hatch an egg and it gives you a dragon, and she's got all like her own wearables and quests now that you can do within Decentraland that will give you rewards, but you can only access the quests if you have her wearable. So it's a very interesting and ever evolving space. That kind of utility is pretty new actually to the space. Hasn't been around for that long, but it'll let me go into her build right now. But
look at her floor.
Yeah, and this will actually play. This is playing piano notes as I walk across it. But yeah, so like this kind of stuff you see here, this was all done like via code or at least in the SDK.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But yeah, so this is her her build here. You can see her logo here on the bottom. That's the Alice in Wonderland logo, kind of lit up there on the bottom. But yeah, so you can enter it right now into this building because it was part of the Metaverse Festival. However, previous to this festival, you could not enter this building without owning one of her wearables. You can see it says like "fuck me up" on a spiritual level. But yeah, it's a really, really interesting space that is continuously evolving, and a lot of this stuff is, like I said, user generated and voted on through something called a DAO, which is a decentralized autonomous organization. So you can actually propose things to the community and then they can vote on them. So one of the things you can do, if you have a really cool build that you want more exposure for, you could propose that you want to add your location to the points of interest, which is this little menu right here. And then people can vote on that. Or if you
That's nice.
Yeah, if you have some other idea or like some kind of proposal or project you want to put forth, you can present that and then get it approved by the community. And Decentraland even has grants, so you can request a grant, so they'll fund projects and things like that too.
Very cool. Wow, this is fascinating. I want you to come on again. And
yeah, absolutely.
This is like so much information, but it's amazing.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that was so much. I'm gonna have to rewatch this video several times just to really get more of an understanding. God, that's so cool. Gosh. So have you done any airdrops yet in the metaverse? Or
no, not yet.
Your art. You also are an NFT creator.
Yeah, I do.
Let's see your NFTs real quick, and then we can come on another time and also show your stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me stop sharing the screen. I'll share my other screen. All of my NFTs are currently on the Wax blockchain due to there's like no fees on the Wax blockchain. So
WAX, I don't even know that one.
Yeah, it's WAX. It's right now people like Topps, for example, the baseball card creators, they have all of their baseball cards now digitally on wax and things like that.
Oh.
So that's where
Is my dapper NBA WNBA top shots on that?
no, I forget what blockchain that operates on. But Top Shot, yeah, they're not on wax. They're on, I don't even know what blockchain that
I don't
operates
either.
on.
It's like mysterious how to, because you're on the Dapper app. I think it's Dapper. Or is it Drake?
Yeah,
Dapper.
Dapper, yeah.
So I don't know what it's either.
But yeah, so
I have some.
the wax blockchain's nice because there's no fees. Like for example, I'm dropping this free NFT, Halloween NFT today.
Awesome.
Yeah, so people will be able to just go to my what's called Nifty Blocks site, which is kind of like a marketplace for wax. And then they'll be able to just claim this for free as long as they have a wax wallet. They'll be able to just click claim for free. But I have several other
I'm gonna
things
get a
that I've
wax
done.
wallet. If you want to, right after this, we can make a super short video. Just do like a little ad for your drop or something. Put it right up.
Sure. And then you can see like my other ones here too, some other stuff I've done. This is like a 3D Halloween drop I did, non-fungible terror.
Oh, that's cool.
So I do all of this stuff in Photoshop, but I really like 3D art like this. And so that's why I want to learn Blender, is so that I can make wearables, but also more 3D art. Because
Did you
that's
make
kind
that
of,
with After Effects?
so I had to make the still image of this first, which you can see here. So I just had to make like the still image, which I did using a program called Bazart. And then from there, I imported this into Photoshop and turned it into a 3D mesh, and then had to create a timeline and actually assign like the movement to the NFT. Like I had to go through and set different rotation
But in
points
what
to make it
program
work.
did you do the movement?
Photoshop as well.
Oh, I didn't know they were doing movement, because that's
Yeah.
one reason I actually don't have that many NFTs, because there's some things that I really want to know before I get too much. And one is
Yeah.
like make high resolution, because like you're saying, people are going to print it out, or it's going to be in a big real life show in China,
Right.
New York City or somewhere on a big screen, like, how to have it be like a great resolution.
So there's resolution is definitely an issue with a lot of blockchains, I think. And what happens is sorry, I'm trying to get out of this. You can upload it to a IFPS hash. I think I said that right. And then you use that to upload the image into or onto the blockchain. So for example, Wax, they have a 7 megabyte limit on how big the file can be. So what I always do is I upload it into this site first. And then from there, I can take the image file, because it's a large image file, and then I can use the hash to pull the image into the NFT itself.
That is amazing. You know what I want to do? I want to stop the recording and I want to immediately start back and ask you, like, what do you have to do to get one of those pumpkins? But that's today. So it's just dropping today. So
correct. Yeah, it'll drop today at 4:20 Eastern.
But you'll probably have other drops after that, so then people could like look at the other drops, right?
Yeah, and I still have a lot of drops that people can purchase. How like all the free ones that I do go like super duper quick, but there's some drops that I have that are still like, this one's like 30 cents, so one wax I think right now is like 32 cents. Yeah, 32 cents. So I'm very new in my NFT creation, and
Uh,
I'm very I judge myself pretty hard. Like I don't think my art, like I think it's decent, but I don't think it's great. And I know like once I hone in my capabilities, like I can,
I love your bee.
yeah,
That bee is awesome.
thank you. Um
Your logo.
yeah, and I have these 3D coins that I made too.
Those are really nice.
So um what I try to do is just make my art like super affordable right now, and just trying to get it out there so that people can see it. A lot of projects they'll drop things and they'll just
Yeah, I love it.
out set prices super high. Me, I try and drop a lot of my stuff in like series of 100, and then I'll drop it all for free. And what I'm kind of doing, like the wax blockchain has allowed me to like experiment a lot with my NFTs without having to worry about the cost
Yeah,
associated with
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
So, I'm kind of like honing my skills, playing around a little bit right now, like trying to figure out NFTs and how to sell them and deploy them. And then from there, I'll probably move on to Ethereum, where, everything costs money to do there, even minting. So, once I feel like I've reached a level of success with my art that I feel like it's worthy enough for Ethereum, then I'll move over there.
Cool. Yeah, yeah. I'm doing that too. I have like some for like one Tez. I have some on Hickonook, and but then my real life painting selling for like $9,000 in real life. So maybe we
Yeah.
can collaborate. So
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
like it's all these different skills that we're all like putting in and
Yeah.
sharing. Yeah, if you ever need any like whatever tips, anything.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
that beat is
appreciate it.
really good. And yeah, that's one thing I love also about the NFT space is like how everyone's getting into art, you know?
Yeah.
So all the old, I feel like all the artists, of my generation is like, okay, we're almost like, that is a completely different era because of the things that are going to be created. It's still
Right.
new, but like every day, every week you're on Twitter, you see something more and something new. And it's like
It's
just growing.
overwhelming.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's it's a very rapid space, and rapidly growing too. I've always been interested in art, so it's funny to hear you say like more and more people are getting into art. I had taken Photoshop classes when I was as young as in high school. I took 2 Photoshop classes, and I always had like an interest in digital art. And then like, I grew up and like kind of forgot about that
Yeah,
part
it's
of
not
me.
sustainable. Yeah.
Yeah, and like forgot about that like creative side of myself, and was in my career really heavy. And then like COVID hit, and I started learning about NFTs, and then I got back into Photoshop, like relearned all of my skills that I had learned 10 years ago, and have now found a new, like gotten back in touch with that creative side of
Yeah, those
myself.
colors, this is really beautiful, actually. I really like this. Like
Thank you.
the colors, the space.
Yeah, and it's what
Very
I did is I used this logo now on as like a signature for some of my other NFTs. Let me see if I have one with it on it. So this one, for example, you can actually see that same logo, but it's kind of spinning down in the bottom right as my
Ooh, that is
signature.
gorgeous. Wow. That's really great.
Thank
That's
you.
really, 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 really great. Wow.
Yeah, so this one I again created the still image that you see there.
Yeah.
So I used my base logo, brought in some other images, brought in the colors, and then all of the animation that you see within the letter B's, I actually had to go in and do all the animation by hand. So I went in and had to set up like anchor points around the whole lettering, and then you know, draw out the flow of how I wanted the colors to kind of look liquid, and did it all by hand in that aspect. So
Yeah, I mean, as a piece of art, just as a piece of art itself, this is really extremely good. Like,
thank
you
you.
know, the concept of the world, the globe, the circle, and then, you know, the way you work with the light and the luminosity and the and then that big black T in the middle, it's just like an empty, like it's like a black hole, but it's angular. Like it's really amazing.
Yeah, it kind of draws your attention
Yeah,
because it's a black space amongst a very colorful picture.
yeah,
So
super strong graphic.
thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
I mean, art too. It's artistic too. It's not just graphic. It's got a whole concept, you know.
yeah, and it's funny. I used 3 different programs to make this one piece. So yeah.
Wow. All right, let's sign up. I want to make super quick, like one on how to get your drop
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
other drops, and then come back. All right, because I don't know if people listen all the way to the end of this. All right, I'm gonna
Yeah.
hang it up. Thanks for coming. Watch the other video, you guys.